Bricks, bread and bones. The Harappan civilization. Term, place, time. Indus Valley civilization is also called Harappan culture. Archaeologists use the term culture for group of objects distinct in style that are usually found together in a specific geographical area and period of time. In case of Harappan culture, this distinct object includes seal, beads, weight, stone blades, and even baked bricks. मंडा सबसे ऊपर में हरप्पन, हरप्पा, राखीगढ़ी, बनावली, कालीबंगा, गंधारीवाला, कोटजी, चानूदारो, अमरी, बालाकोट, धोलावीरा, लोथल, रंगपुर, नागेश्वर, सूट गेंडोर. Beginning. There were several archaeological cultures in region prior to mature Harappan. These cultures were associated with distinct poetry, evidence of agriculture and pastoralism, some craft. Settlements were generally small and there were virtually no large buildings. It appears that there were break between early Harappan and Harappan civilization, evident from large-scale burning at some times, as well as abandonment of certain settlement. Substantive strategies. Mature Harappan culture developed in some of the area occupied by early Harappan culture. This culture also shared certain common elements including substance strategic. The Harappan ate wide range of plant and animal product including fish. Grain found at Harappa site include wheat, barley, latin, chickpea and sesame. Millet are found from site in Gujarat. Find of rice are relatively rare. Animal bone found at Harappan site include those of cattle, sheep, goat, buffalo, pig. Animal bone found at Harappan sites include cattle, sheep, goat, buffalo, pig. Studies done by archaeological geologists or zooarchaeologists indicate that these animals were domesticated. Bone of the wild species such as boar, deer, gharial were also found. Agriculture technologies. Seals and terracotta sculpture indicate that bull was known, and archaeologists extrapolate from this that ovens were used for plugging. Moreover, terracotta model of plug have been found at the site in Cholistan and Banawali, Haryana. Archaeologists have also found evidence of plugged field Kalibanga, Rajasthan. Associated in चौलिस्तान एंड बनावली हरियाणा टेराकोटा मिला था और एविडेंस था खेत जोता हुआ कालीबंगा में राजस्थान में जो कि है एसोसिएटेड विद अर्ली हरप्पन लेवल. This field have two set of four at right angle each other, suggesting that two different crops were grown together. Most Harappan sites are located in semi-arid land, where irrigation was probably required for agriculture. Traces of canal have been found at Harappan site of Surtogoi in Afghanistan, but not in Punjab and Sindh. It is also likely that water drawn from well was used for irrigation. Water reservoir found in Dholavira, Gujarat may have been used to store water for agriculture. From Ernest Mackay, further excavation in Mohenjo-daro, 1937. Mohenjo-daro, a planned urban center. The settlement is divided into two sections, one smaller but higher and other larger but lower. This as a citadel, lower town as a respectively. The citadel owes its height to fact that buildings were constructed on mud bricks platform. It was walled, which meant that it is physically separated from Lower Town. Lower Town was also walled. Several buildings were built on platform, which served as a foundation. Standardized ratio where length and breadth were 4 times and twice height respectively. Such bricks were used at all Harappan settlements. Laying out planned drainage system. A grid pattern intersecting at right angle. It seems that straight with drain were laid out first and then house built along them. पहले नाला बनाया फिर घर बनाया. Citadel at sites such as Dholavira and Lothal, Gujarat, the entire settlement was fortified. Citadel within Lothal was not walled off but built at high. Domestic agriculture. Lower town at Mohenjo-daro provide example of residential building. Many were centered on courtyard. Lower town at Mohenjo-daro provided example of residential building. Many were centered on the courtyard with room on all sides. The courtyard was probably center of activities such as cooking and weaving. घर का वो आंगन. Many were centered on the courtyard with all room on all sides, particularly during hot and dry weather. What is also interesting is apparent concern of privacy. There are no windows in the wall along ground level. Beside main entrance does not give direct view on interior or courtyard. Every house has its own bathroom paved with bricks with drain connected through wall to street drain. Some houses have remained to staircases to reach second story or the roof. Many houses had wall, often in room that could be reached from outside and perhaps used the passerby. The total number of wells in Mohenjo-daro was 700. Every house was connected to street drain with loose bricks that could be removed from cleaning. Citadel, probably used for special public purpose. A massive structure of which of the lower bricks portion remained while upper portion probably of wood decayed long ago. And the great bath. The great bath was large rectangular tank in a courtyard surrounded by corridor on all 4 sides. These were 2 flights of steps on the north and south leading to the tank. There were rooms on 3 sides, in one of which were large well. From the tank flowed into huge drain across lane to north lay of a smaller building with 8 bathrooms, 4 on each side of corridor, with drain from each other. Bathroom connecting to drain that ran along corridor. The uniqueness of the structure as well as content meant to be suggest a special ritual bath. वही ग्रेट बात में स्पेशल रिचुअल बात. ट्रैकिंग द सोशल डिफरेंस. क्या वो लोग में भेदभाव होता था? एट द बरियल इन हरप्पन साइट डेड वेयर जनरली लेड इन पिट्स. Sometimes there were difference in way of burial pits was made. In some instance, hollowed out space were lined with bricks. Could this variation be indicating social difference? We are not sure. Some grave contain pottery ornament, perhaps indicating belief that this could be used in afterlife. Jewelry has been found in burial of both men and women. In mid-1980s, ornamental consisting of 3 shell rings, jasper, a kind of semi-precious stone bead, and hundreds of micro beads was found near skull of male. In some instances, the dead were buried with copper mirror. But on the whole, it appears that Harappan did not believe in burying precious things with dead. Copper mirror मुर्दा के साथ काट दिया. Looking for luxurious. The objective were luxury if they are rare and made from costly non-local material with complicated technology. Thus, little pots of ground made of sand, silica mixed with color and gum and then fired. was probably precious because they were difficult to make. The rare objects made of valuable material are generally concentrated in large settlements like Mohenjo-daro and Harappa and are rarely found in smaller settlements. The gold too was rare and at present probably precious. All gold jewelry found at Harappan site was recovered from hoard. Finding out about craft production. Chanudaro, exclusively devoted to craft production including bead making, seal cutting, metal working, seal making and weight making. The weight of material used to make bead is remarkable. Stone like cremalium, a beautiful red color, jasper, crystal, quartz, stellite, metal like copper, bronze, gold, and seal, finance, terracotta, or burnt clay. Some beads were made up of two or more stones, cemented together, some of them with gold cap. This space were numerously disc shaped and cylindrical, spherical, segmented. The technique for making beads differently according to the material. Stide, a very soft stone, was easily worked. Some beads were molded out of paste made with stide powder. Red color of crinoline was obtained by firing yellowish raw material and bead with various stage of production. Noodles were clipped into rough shape and then finally plated into final form of grading, polishing and drilling completed the process. Specialized drill have been found at Chanudaro, Lothal and more recently Dholavira. Nageshwar and Balakot. Both settlements are near the coast. They are a specialized center for making shell objects, including bangles, landals, and inlay. The raw materials such identifying center of production. The raw materials such as stone nodule, whole cells, and copper ore tool unfinished object reject the waste material. In fact, waste is one of the best indicator of craft work. For instance, if cell and stone is cut to make object, then piece of this material will be discarded as a waste at the place of production. Large waste pieces were used up to smaller object, but minuscule bits were usually left in the work of area. Apart from a small specialized center, craft production was also undertaken in large cities such as Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Strategies for producing material. A variety of material was used for craft production. Many such as stone, timber, metal had been produced from outside the alluvial plain. Terracotta toy modeled by Bullock cart suggests that this was one of the important means of transporting goods and people across land routes. Riverine route along Indus and its tributary as well as coastal route were also probably used. Material from subcontinent and beyond. The Harappan procured material for craft production in various ways. For instance, they established settlements such as Nageshwar and Balakot in areas where cells were available. Other such sites are Sutogai in far off Afghanistan near the best source of lapsi lazis, blue stone that are apparently very highly valued. Lothal, which was source of carnelian from Bhoj and Gujarat, stellite from South Rajasthan and North Gujarat, and metal from Rajasthan. Another strategy for procuring raw material may have spanned expeditions to areas such as Khatri region of Rajasthan for copper, south for gold. खतरी रीजन ऑफ राजस्थान फॉर कॉपर मिलेगा, खतरी रीजन ऑफ राजस्थान एंड साउथ for gold. This expedition established communication with local communities. Harappan artifacts such as stite microbeads in this area are indicator of such contact. Harappan artifacts such as there is evidence in Khatri area for wheat archaeologists called Ghaneshwar Jodhpur culture with its distinct non-Harappan poetry and unusual wealth of copper object. It is possible that inhabitable of this region supplied copper to Harappan. Ghaneshwar Jodhpur culture. Mesopotamia, Harappa, Sukendro, Lothal, Melua, Magan, Diluman. Contact with distant land. The copper also probably brought from Oman. On the southeastern tip of Arabian Peninsula, chemical analysis has shown that both Onami copper and Harappan artifacts have trace of nickel suggesting common origin. There are other traces of contact as well. Distinct type of vessel. A very large Harappan jar coated with thick layer of black clay has been found at Omani site. Such thick coating prevent from percolation of liquid. Mesopotamian texts datable to the 3rd millennium BC refer to copper coming from region called Magan, perhaps named for Oman. Mesopotamian texts mention context with region named Diluman, probably island of Bahrain, Magan and Mulana, possibly the Harappan region. They mention the product of Mulahan, Krilan, Lapsi, copper, gold and varieties of wood. It is likely that communication of Oman, Bahrain and Mesopotamian was by sea. Mesopotamian texts refer to Muluha as a land for seafaring. Beside, we find deficit of ship and boat on the seal. Seal, script and weight. Seal and sealing were used to facilitate long distance communication. Some wet clay on which one or more seal were present. If bag reached its reaching intact, the seal also conveyed the identifying of sender. And enigmatic script. Harappan seal usually have a line of writing probably containing name and title of honor. Motif, generally an animal conveyed as a meaning those who could not read. Most inscriptions are short and longest containing about 26 signs. Although script remain undeciphered to date, it is eventually not alphabetical, where each sign stands for vowel or consonant, as it has just too many signs. It apparent that the script was written from right to left. Weight. Exchange was regulated by precious system of weight usually made of a stone called charat and generally cubical with no marking. Metal scale pen have also been found. Ancient authority. There was indicator of complex decision being taken implemented in Harappan society. The extraordinary uniformity of Harappan artifact as evidence in poetry, seals, weight and bricks, a uniform ratio throughout the region, from Jammu to Gujarat. Places and king. A large building found at Mohenjo-daro was labeled as a palace by archaeologists, but not specular finds were associated with it. A stone statue was labeled and continued to be known as a priest king. This is because archaeologists were familiar with Mesopotamian history and its priest king. We have found parallel in the Indus region. Some archaeologists are in opinion that Harappan society had no ruler. and that everyone enjoy equal status. Other feels that no single ruler but several, that Mohenjo-daro had a separate ruler, Harappan another, and so. Yet others argue that there were single state given similarities in artifact evidence of planned settlement and standardized rock bricks and establishment of settlement near source of raw material. The end of civilization. That 1800 BC most mature Harappan site in regions such as Cholistan has been abandoned. Simultaneously, there was an expansion of population into new settlement in Gujarat, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh. In the few Harappan sites that continue to be occupied after 1900 BCE, there appeared to be transformation in material culture marked by disappearance of distinct artifacts of civilization. Weight, seal, special beads, writing, long distance trade and craft specialization also disappear. House construction technique distorted and large public structure were no longer produced. Overall artifact and settlement indicate a rural way of life in what are called late Harappan or successor culture. These range from climatic change, deforestation, excessive flood, shifting and drying of river to overuse of landscape. Chewing confusion. Chewing first Director General of Archaeological Survey of India, began archaeological excavation in mid 19th century. Chewing main interest was archaeological of early history and later period. He used account by Chinese Buddhist pilgrim who had visited subcontinent between 4th and 17th century. A site like Harappa was also not part of illiteracy of Chinese pilgrim and was not known as an early history city, did not fit very neatly within the framework of investigation. And new old civilizations. Seals were discovered at Harappa by archaeologists such as Dayaram Sani in the early decade of 20th century. Rakal Das Banerjee found similar seals at Mohenjo-daro. In 1924, John Marshall, Director General of Archaeological Survey of India, announced the discovery of new civilization in Indus Valley to the world. Problem of piecing together the past. It is not the Harappan script that help in understanding the ancient civilization. Rather, it is a material evidence that allow archaeologists to better reconstruct Harappan life. This material called be poetry, tools, ornament, household object, etc. Classifying find. Recovering artifact is a just beginning of archaeological enterprises. Archaeologists then classify their find. One simple principle of classification in terms of materials such as stone, clay, metal, bone and ivory. The second and more complicated is in terms of function. Archaeologists have been decided whether for instance or artifact is a tool or ornament for both and something meant for ritual use. Problem of interpretation. Early archaeologists thought that certain object which seems unusual and unfamiliar may have been religious significance. This include terracotta figure of woman heavily jeweled and some with elaborated headdress. These were regarded as a mother goddess. A rare stone statuary of man and almost and standardized posture sealed with hand on knee such as priest king was also similar classified. In other instances, structure have been assigned with ritual significance. This include great bath and fire altar found at Kalibanga and Lothal. 2 million बिफोर प्रेजेंट लोअर पैलियोलिथिक 80,000, मिडिल पैलियोलिथिक 35,000, अपर पैलियोलिथिक 12,000, मेसोलिथिक 10,000, न्यूलिथिक अर्ली एग्रीकल्चरलिस्ट एंड पेस्टोरलिज्म 6,000, चारकोलिस्टिक फर्स्ट यूज ऑफ कॉपर 2600, हरप्पन सिविलाइजेशन 10,000, अर्ली आयरन एंड मेगालिथिक बरियल 600, अर्ली हिस्ट्री। 1875 report of Alexander Cuckingham on Harappan. Thank you.